We can actually also bring our light source closer to our object. So you see here's my sun, and this is kind of like establishing the height of where this light is sitting or floating above the ground plane. See, here's my mid-ray. And now I would like to cast a shadow from here off this cube. And the same process again applies. So ground plane through this front edge, and just drawing, for example, this V. Because we're not treating this now as a sun that is so far away that it also can see kind of like the sides of our object, we treat it more as a point light that is very close to our object. And before I continue, let me actually go back to here. So you see this, for example, is a sun. So you see the shadows are kind of like nearly parallel to the object. Now let me switch this light to kind of like a light bulb. And there you see how actually the shape of the shadow changes. See this? So here we have a rectangle. And then this part is kind of like the volume of our cube. Now that might have sounded a little bit complicated. So let's do something like this, so you understand it. So this is actually just a plane. You see this plane casts this shadow. And you see the top face shadow is pretty much the same like when I have a cube. But then also, if I think remove those parts, you see this front face has kind of like this trapezoid shape, if you want to call it that way. So technically speaking, when you have a cube, your shadow consists out of two shapes. Okay, so let's go back to Illustrator. So first I have to construct like the shadow of this front face, because the left and right, the back faces, the light source cannot see. So what is casting actually a shadow in this case is this configuration. So all those edges are casting a shadow. So that means now from our light source through this top point, a ray down there, top point, ray down to the ground ray, kind of like there. Okay, so our shadow will be here. And again, you also saw there are again shadow triangles. Okay. And now I have to cast a shadow of, or I have to construct a shadow this top face actually casts. However, because this is a cube, all we can focus on is actually this back edge. So what I do now, from the vanishing point here through this back edge, I just create a nice long line. Same here, nice long line. And then I construct my shadow triangle through the top point. There. And there. And that's a nice shortcut, because all I need to do now is draw in those missing three edges. And then we're done. So there I leave those lines actually in. Let me change their color so you better can see actually what is affecting what. And you see this edge, sorry, let's do it this way. So this edge is here, this edge is this one, this edge is this one, this edge is this one, and this edge casts this one. And the shadow is a little bit more complicated, but for example, I feel this actually looks a little bit more interesting because it's not a very simple flat projection like a sunlight. So if you're inside a room and you have a point light, or if you're outside and you have a sunlight, those are, for example, the two types of shadow constructions you can use.